Movement in VR, well, it's a little tricky. The main problem is motion sickness. Motion sickness basically caused by the disconnect between what our eyes perceive in the virtual environment and what our inner ear senses. In other words, we are staying in one place while our brain thinks we are moving. In this video we will start with continuous movement, then I will show you how to set up collisions between the player and the object, and by the end of this video our collider will follow our head positions from the floor, which will enable us to crouch. And finally, we will design our level. Let's get started. So in this video we are going to move with our character. So to do that, click on the XR origin. We need to add the component called locomotion system and drag the XR origin to the XR origin field. We also need a continuous movement provider, and we have to select the action based one. So here we need to reference the locomotion system, so just drag it to the system field, and in the bottom we need to reference an input action. We need to specify which joystick we want to use for the movement. Personally, I like the left hand joystick, so I'm going to use that reference. And here I'm going to use the XRI left hand locomotion move action. So I select it. And here I'm just going to leave the right hand move action as blank. We also need to be able to rotate in the word. So we have two options what we can use. One is the snap turn provider and the other is the continuous turn provider. Personally, I prefer the snap turn provider, but you can use the continuous turn provider if you like that. I'm just going to add both of them so I can show you how to properly set it up. In both cases, you have to select the action based one. So start with the snap turn provider. We need to drag the locomotion system to the system field, and at the turn amount we can specify how much you want to turn, and at the turn amount you want to specify in degrees how much you want to turn with each input action. So I'm just gonna decrease it to around 30 degrees, and in the bottom I'm gonna use the right hand snap turn action. So I'm using the reference. So here I'm just going to select the XRI right hand locomotion snap turn action. In the continuous turn provider, we have to reference the locomotion system. You can set this turn speed to whatever you like. And again, I'm just going to use the right hand turn action. So here I'm just going to select the XRI right hand locomotion turn action. Okay, in my case, I'm just going to remove the continuous turn provider, because I don't want to do both of the action. So in the scene we need some objects so the movement will be much more visible. So to do that I'm just gonna use some of the Polygon assets. So go to its folder, prefabs, and I'm just gonna use the crates. I'm gonna increase the Y position to 0.5. And I'm just gonna make a few copy of it. And also I'm just gonna stack it on top of each other. And start play mode. As you can see, I can turn with my right hand joystick, left and right. And if I use the left hand joystick, I can move around. So if you move forward, you don't have any collider on you. So you just go through the objects. So to fix that, we are going to need another component called character controller. And as you can see, right now it's in the ground. So to fix that, we are going to increase the center's Y position to 1. And right now the radius is a little too big, so we are going to decrease it to 0.2. So just to show you another problem, I'm just going to increase the Y position of the character and enter play mode. As you can see, right now we are a little high, but if you move forward a little, you instantly fall to the ground. Right now we can collide with objects in our scene. As you can see, even if I'm crunching, the collider stays the same height. So first, if you want to fix these issues, at the continuous move provider, you can see a gravity application mode. And right now it's only calculating the gravity when we are moving. But as you can see, if we are not moving when the scene starts, we are just levitating in the air. And when we start moving, you just instantly fall to the ground. So we have to select the immediately option. So it's always going to calculate the the gravity. The other thing, so if we want to be able to crouch and move under the object, we are going to need another component, which is the character controller driver. So here we need to select the XR origin for the locomotion provider. I'm going to set the minimum height to 0.3. As you can see, if I'm crunching the collider's height is following my head. So now I can go under these objects. So that's it about the continuous movement. So now why don't we make our environment pretty? So I'm just going to use the Polygon assets to create a simple scene and advise you to do that as well. Try to be creative as you want to be. So see you in a bit. So this is the end result. As you can see, I'm not really good with level design, but this will do the trick. That's it for this video. In the next one, we will finally be able to interact with objects. If you don't want to miss that one, then hit the subscribe button and see you in the next one.